And we want the best grades, the best school, the best car, the best job, the best partner, the best looks, the best. And so in this modern, swipe culture with all these apps where it's, all of these options, people are always on the, thinking about wanting the best.
Based on recent polls carried out by JSwipe, only 15% of your users ranked shared values as the most important trait to look for in a partner. Physical attraction came in much higher. Is this a problem?
I think that if anything, the poll must be off, in as much as if someone's on JSwipe, they're already looking for someone with shared values by virtue of them being on a Jewish dating app to find someone else who's Jewish. I think it might go into a topic that you and I were discussing before we started filming, but the idea of the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind. Subconsciously, these people are all looking for someone with shared values. Consciously, they might be aware of a feeling they get or an energy they feel if they feel an attraction. So I think I think they're looking for shared values by much of the conversations that I've had with different people. One of the first things people say is, "Oh, someone with shared values." I'd love to go into what does that mean, to them. How can they tell early on? But of course, they might say that that attraction is an important driver for them as well.
But the fixation on looks, is that a problem?
I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to this, or I don't know if I could be right in saying, I think inevitably people feel that. I know that I feel there's an energy that I feel subconscious, it's just a thing in certain, circumstances or with certain people, and there's an energy that I don't feel otherwise. Is that a problem? I think it's an innate system that's running within me. So I hope to say that that isn't a problem. Maybe it's how you, wield that, or how you let that impact or influence you. That could be a problem. Yeah. What would you say?
I think most people would say, "Oh, come on, that's shallow." But you're right. You can call it whatever you want. It's there, right? It's real. I think the issue is, what are you marrying? When you say, what are you looking for, you got to be more specific. What are you looking for that will allow you to date somebody? What are you looking for that will allow you to marry somebody? They're very different. So dating is a process of elimination. Even shared values. Shared values means I could marry this person. We will not clash in our values. So I could marry this person. Why should I? I like her looks. I could marry her. Why should I? If I marry her for the looks, then it's a serious problem. Even if I marry her for the shared values, it's a serious problem. Hey, we're both religious, we're both Chassidish. No. You don't marry for that. That allows you to marry. That won't be a problem. But why are you marrying? That's where the confusion is. What makes a good date doesn't necessarily make a good marriage. So when you're dating and looking for all the things about each other, beginning with looks, because that's the first thing you see, you want to make sure that the looks will not be a problem so that you can marry the person, not the looks. So if you're dating and you find each other comfortable, compatible, enjoying each other, okay, you could marry. Why? Why are you marrying this person? That's the clincher. But if you marry what you see, not good. Then you're not marrying her. You're marrying it.
There's a new Netflix show called Love is Blind where they have people, it's a reality dating show behind closed, like behind a wall, and they send them on all these dates so that you could fall in love with the person. Would you, if you shouldn't marry the person for how they look, would you suggest marrying someone blindfolded?
No. The purpose of dating, and there is a purpose, is to make sure that there aren't irreconcilable differences to begin with. Why are you asking for trouble? Make sure that her looks are, I don't want to make it sound like good enough. She doesn't have to be the most beautiful woman in town, but I have to be comfortable with her looks. I got to feel attracted to her looks. Otherwise, it's going to be a big obstacle in our marriage. So what do I need that for? So you do want to eliminate things that might get in the way. And even if it's petty, I don't like the freckles. I know it's petty, but then don't marry her. If something is uncomfortable, don't do it. So, but that's so petty. Okay, so you're a petty person. Don't do it.
You say good enough. It makes me think of, there's a book, Modern Love, about modern dating. And in this book, it's discussed this idea of, again, our grandparents' generation versus our generation. Our grandparents' generation being what they called satisficers, which are, it satisfies, it was satisfy and suffice. Like,
could be worse.
It'll do. And then they, oftentimes, of course, lived beautifully, happily, or at the very least together in marriage. And now, versus millennials are referred to, I'm just teeing you up for this one because I think you'll be able to have a field day with it, but millennials are referred to as maximizers. Yeah. And as much as we've always been told that our parents want, and we want the best grades, the best school, the best car, the best job, the best partner, the best looks, the best. And so in this modern, swipe culture with all these apps where it's, all of these options, people are always on the, thinking about wanting the best and the best of everything versus good enough, as you said.
A part of it is because I'm not marrying the person, I'm marrying those things, and if they are not perfect and overwhelmingly attractive, I won't get married. In other words, marriage doesn't stand on its own. So whoever I'm going to marry better be amazing, because otherwise I don't really want to be married. I just want amazing. Who's going to be amazing for the rest of her life? So if a guy says to a woman, I'm not really into marriage, but you are so amazing, I'll marry you. Don't do it. So, to put it really dramatically, it's pornography. We don't see a person, we see things. It's objectifying. If you are irresistibly gorgeous, I'll marry you. Otherwise, I don't want to be married. So you have to be the best so that I have no choice but to marry you. Because I can't justify getting married. So you justify it. You be so amazingly, overwhelmingly attractive that I have no choice but to marry you. And that also comes to the question of how do you make a decision as huge as marrying somebody? I'm talking to some very, very powerful women, very successful, very modern, and they actually said, can't stand this process. I just want my father to pick somebody for me. So, whoa, that's old-fashioned. But it's real. How do I make a decision like that? I'll marry this guy. Tomorrow I meet somebody nicer. Regret my choice. Regret my decision. How do we do this? Yeah, I want to be married. I don't want to go through the process. So marry me off. Amazing. So what is the clincher? What makes me decide I'm going to marry this person? Okay, all the pieces are there. It all fits, it's good. But what's the clincher? So, no problems. There's nothing about the person that turns me off. Nothing about the person that irritates me. So I can marry this person. Why will I? The big question, right? So here's what's called good chemistry. Good chemistry doesn't mean I find him attractive or I find her attractive. That's generic. Good chemistry means sitting with this person makes me comfortable with me. And that comes in male and female form. A guy sitting with a woman finds himself comfortable being male. He starts to feel like a man in her presence. This doesn't happen with every good-looking woman. On the contrary, with most good-looking women, he becomes self-conscious. How do you like me now? Am I making a good impression? Should I try a little harder? It's uncomfortable. But the rare woman that he is going to meet who's going to make him feel comfortable being a man. Don't walk away from this one. She feels absolutely comfortable being a woman, feels good about being a woman in his presence. So they're doing it to each other. He is bringing out the woman in her, she's bringing out the man in him. This does not happen with anyone else. So good chemistry means not what I feel towards you, but what you make me feel about myself. So here's the uncomfortable or unpopular reality. He has to feel like he could take care of her. He could provide for her, and he would love doing it. That's a male reaction. I will work, I will do anything it takes to make your life wonderful. I feel like a man, like a husband. She's feeling the opposite. With him, I have no worries. I can follow him, I can trust him, I can lean on him. No concerns whatsoever, because he is rock solid for me. So with him, I feel like a woman. I can close my eyes and just surrender. If they reverse it, not good. If he feels, oh, I would surrender to her, I'll follow her to the ends of the world. No, she wants a husband, not a puppy. And if she's feeling, oh, I'll work hard and take care of him. No. Then you're becoming his mother. He doesn't want a mother, he wants a wife. So the difference between male and female, husband, wife, man, woman, again, a neglected subject. And look at the confusion. It's horrible. What's male? What's female? Even a candidate for the Supreme Court has no idea what a woman is. This is bad news. Dangerous news. Like at the end of a civilization. That's how Rome became decadent. That's how a civilization disappears. You don't know male from female. You don't know mother from father. You don't know parent from child. Then you stop living. And you just disappear. Nobody has to kill you. You just melt away into nothingness, fade to black. So, the real romance is when a man can feel so satisfied being male. There's no greater satisfaction. And when a woman can feel completely satiated in her femininity. Oh, there's nothing like that. That's why they're going to live longer. So that is the good chemistry, that is the clincher. So one quick anecdote. This woman was dating a guy from Chassidish, all following all the rules, but could not, the two of them could not clinch it. They couldn't come 3 years on and off, and they broke up, and they started again, and they tried again, and it was torture for both of them. When I finally spoke to her, she said, look, my problem is, he is 99% of everything I want. Just 1% that bothers me. So I can't give up on him, but I can't marry him. I said, what is that 1%? Because I knew. It's typical. I said, what is that 1%? She said, I'm ashamed to say, but it doesn't feel like a man. I said, that's not 1%, that's the 99%. The rest is 1%. This is not for you. 99% is the good chemistry. And good chemistry means I can lean on you. You allow me to be a woman by feeling secure, trustworthy, solid. And for a man, she allows me to be a man because I'm not competing with her. I'll take full responsibility and I'll do whatever it takes to support us. Not only financially, but in every way. So it's 99% of everything. So every marriage, not like a broken record. Oh, we can't get along because she did and he that. And blah, blah. I said, no. You're not husband and wife. You're not mashpia and mekabel. The husband is not the giver. She is not the receiver. The whole thing is messed up. And it'll never work that way. There are exceptions where she is the giver and he's the receiver. Okay. If you agree to that switch. But originally, as a plan, he's got to be the giver and she's got to be the receiver. And being the receiver is the most powerful thing in the world. That's another thing that is underappreciated. Torah says Chava was punished, cursed, with you will yearn for your husband. Is that a curse? So the Medrash says, the Medrash is amazing. The Medrash says, look what happened. God curses Chava that she is going to yearn for a husband, which means every woman is desperate to find a husband, hungering for a husband, puts her at a disadvantage, right? So the Medrash says, no, God's curse always turns out to be a blessing. Because when men discover that women yearn for a husband, every man goes crazy trying to find a wife. So it turns out reversed. That hunger that a woman has for a husband is what makes every husband look for a wife. So the dance of life begins in a woman. And that's why Adam names her Chava, mother of all life.
If you like this conversation, like and subscribe to our channel.